That amazing bull's name is legit called God Mode. And I sit alone in the dark in my office with the gentle glow of monitors illuminating the room. And I watch that video thinking of my Tesla trade going higher and higher, throwing the bears off its back, legs kicking above Wall Street's head as they stare in wonder. Yes, we enjoyed a very nice move on Tesla to my target price of $267 and beyond, and I am itching to take profit. The big question is always, how long do you let your winners run? I'd love to hear from you guys on what you did with your Tesla trade. If you're holding, if you're going long, if you sold, let me know. But another big question that we have to answer today is, are we in a new bull rally or are we tipping into the recession? I'm going to give you guys a market overview of stock and crypto highlights. I'm going to briefly talk about a couple key trades that I'm in, Tesla, Apple, BABA, and Bitcoin. And I'm going to highlight a stock that might be setting up for a big move. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you guys for all the likes and the subs that have joined the family. And thanks for all the great comments that I got on my last video. I want you to know I really enjoy all the feedback that I get from you guys. Okay, let's get into these markets. The market today is mostly a red day, with the exception of big tech stocks moving up. Tesla and Nvidia showing the most strength. I'm going to keep it simple. When Apple's up and if Apple stays strong, smart money still wants to buy this market. That's the Apple indicator. And that leads me to the next question. Are we in the new bull rally or are these lofty stock valuations getting ready to tip into the recession? Well, the bearish narrative that can't be ignored is the inverted yield curve. That nasty yield curve with 100% accuracy reminding us that there is a recession ahead at some point. The S&P 7, also known as Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Meta, and Amazon, are now up roughly 60% year to date. Meanwhile, the remaining 493 companies in the S&P 500 are up only 3% year to date. So there is an imbalance in bullishness. There is a growing concern that the economy remains strong as the labor market hasn't really loosened up in 2023, which means that inflation is likely to remain sticky going into the next 6 months. The Fed has paused hikes in June, but I'm guessing that he's going to hike again over the course of the next couple months, which leaves the bond market and the banks in big trouble. I want you guys to notice that the bank stocks have largely been moving sideways. They have moved off of their lows as seen in the KRE ETF that measures regional banks. But if the Fed begins to hike again next month, there will be new bank failures and another leg down in the banking sector. All of this will eventually reach the retail spender whose credit cards are slowly maxing out and the small businessman whose line of credit is slowly being shrunk. The credit crunch is still ahead and will ultimately have some very big effect on the big tech earnings. But for the time being, earnings have not been bad. The market remains strong and the can is getting kicked down the road. If you've been a bear in this market, as I've said before, you've gotten skinned alive and trampled underfoot by the God mode bull at the beginning of this video. So I can't answer the question of when we will tip into the recession. All I can say is if Apple's going up, don't be a bear in this market. I got asked about Rivian in the moomoo chat today. So I looked at the Rivian chart, and that's the one I want to point out to you guys that I think is looking bullish. If it closes above $15.80, which it's pushing up right now against, I think it would squeeze all the way to $19 to the $20 range. Now, I personally don't like Rivian as a long-term investment or hold, but I think that chart absolutely looks like it's getting ready to pop. And I would even say that I'm surprised with all the Tesla action that we've been enjoying that it hasn't already gotten a stronger sympathy move. We may see that there's going to be some money piling into Rivian very soon. I gave that feedback earlier on Rivian this morning in the moomoo chat. Moomoo is a place where I host a chat group called Stock Josh Fam, where you can occasionally find me. If you don't have a moomoo account, there is a link in the top pinned comment of this video. They're currently offering up to 17 free stock to open and fund a new account. Plus, if you put in $100, they'll actually double your account and give you another $100, plus a guaranteed share of C3AI, which is pushing up and is valued above $40. You guys can click on the link. You can review the limited time offer for all the details, and then hopefully come find us in the chat group. I'm going to do a lightning round coverage of BABA, Apple, and Bitcoin. Baba got a new CEO, and nobody likes a change of leadership in a big company because here's the basic idea. People don't usually get moved around and shuffled when the team is winning. When the team is winning, everything stays the same. But if there's a problem, then changes get made. And so that's the reason why the market responded badly. Baba's got a ton of good things going for it, but people do not understand how exactly or why exactly this move was made, and we need some time to digest it. So the market had a knee-jerk reaction today. I want to give you guys a quick reminder. Baba's fair value estimate is $177, so it's way undervalued. I gave everybody the price target of $92.77 in my last video. That was my target for it to hit. Now, you guys should have raised your stop losses as the price climbed and we hit those targets. I'm looking for a re-entry on Baba at $87, and I'm going to put my stop loss in at $85, which I still see being a great support under $87. I see that some folks, though, were in some very risky call options from some of the dialogue in the chat group this morning. Guys, I'm going to tell you, Morningstar has given Baba an uncertainty rating of high. And what that means is that the stock is volatile. It routinely has large price gaps up and price gaps down. So you've got to be careful about your price entry and holding options long or even overnight. No aspect of my bullishness, though, on Baba has changed. I still believe this is going to be a stock that will eventually fire, and when it does, it's going to go really high very quickly. Apple. All right, let's talk about Apple. Apple is holding strong, but the main thing I want you guys to look at today is I want you to see this chart with your own eyes, and I want you to understand, as long as we remain in this channel that I've drawn, Apple will remain bullish, which means that it could easily drop to the bottom of the channel and hit $182, and as long as it stayed in the channel, it would still be bullish. But the move up to $195 has not been confirmed in my eyes yet because we're really not seeing a decisive move above $185. At this point, I'd like to see it close above $185 on the week for me to believe that we're going to get to $195. Right now, it's just dancing around that $185 number with indecision, and I need to see it get above it with some decisiveness and a nice close, maybe over a couple days or at least a weekly candlestick close above that price for me to believe that we're going to shoot to $195. But as long as we stay in that channel, it's still bullish. All right, we have to talk about the awesome move that we've got in Bitcoin. BTC moved above the descending channel that I showed you guys in yesterday's video. And now what we want to see it do now is to backtest the top of that channel, which I'm estimating is around 27,200, and we want to see it pop from there to confirm a move higher. The breakout above the channel is good, but it could be a fake out because sometimes a channel, it'll break above and it'll come back within in a day or two. So we need to watch for that bounce off the top of the channel and the move higher above the previous day's close. That will confirm the move to 34,000. And don't forget what I pointed out in the last video. As we get further away from the bottom of Bitcoin's price, the moves up are going to get bigger and bigger. They're going to become stronger and stronger. We're not going to move up 1,000. Eventually, we're going to move up 10,000 in a single day. So the moves will begin to get bigger and bigger. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go back and watch that video. I'll leave it at the end of this video. So let's watch and see what Bitcoin does. I want to remind you guys that the alts will remain in trouble because of Gary Gensler. Don't expect too much of a bullish move there. This is going to be a time of accumulation for those who really believe in these projects that they will survive and do well in the next bull run. Right now is Bitcoin and Ethereum season. That's where you're going to see your moves. And one more thing to keep in mind regarding the fact that we have trouble ahead. We've got those inverted yield curves. We got the Fed will likely continue to raise rates. The market wants rate cuts, is that the last time we got into that scenario, it was good for Bitcoin. When the Fed begins to tighten rates in recent times, it's been bad for the banks, which has been interpreted as good for Bitcoin. So that may be another driving factor that causes Bitcoin to be an outlier moving forward. And what we're looking for the alts to do right now is simply hold their price ground, which I think they are, so that's bullish for them. So in conclusion, remember there are real problems in the market still. I personally think inflation is going to prove to be sticky, and I think the Fed will absolutely raise rates again. And the markets are honestly expecting rate cuts right now. So there is a day of reckoning or a face-off between the market and the Fed that I think is going to get ugly at some point. But don't try to be a bear riding the God mode bull today because you're going to get thrown off and trampled underfoot. Thanks again for the likes. Say hi in the comments. I've got some new stocks I'm running technicals on this week that I'm going to share with you guys in the upcoming videos. Plus, the number one request I've had recently was providing a video that would help people transfer crypto off of exchanges and onto cold wallets. So I'm going to do a video on that soon as well. That's it for today. Peace and blessings, my friends. We'll see you in the next video.